So this is the fastest way with which you can hit 10K per month as a high ticket consultant, specifically as a self-improvement coach. So this is the reverse engineer 10K method, and this is how we take self-improvement coaches from 0 to 10K per month in 42 days. We have a school community, by the way, that is all about this. Link in the description. Is totally free, at least for now. So the problem is that most consultants are passionate, knowledgeable, but broke. The reason why is they have no clear niche, no structured offer, no measurable KPIs, and no sales process. And of course, no daily revenue math. The reason why free advice doesn't work is you get endless YouTube videos, random tactics, no implementation pressure, no tracking, no accountability. Information is not equal to monetization. If you have like 10 different gurus pulling you in 10 different directions, you're not going to get very far on any of them. Or even worse, you're going to get shiny object syndrome and you're going to be jumping from one to the other non-stop. And of course, you're never going to make progress like that. The core principle is the following. If revenue is not random, revenue is engineered. 10K per month is just math. If you reverse engineer the conversion rate, the show up rate, the close rate, the offer price, you control the outcome as long as you're consistent. But of course, to achieve consistency, you need three main things. You need, to achieve success, you need three main things. The first one is clarity. When you have clarity, and this is exactly what I'm giving you here, you are able to commit. It's kind of hard to commit to something that you don't really know what it is, and you don't really know what it entails and how much work you will need to put in to actually achieve that thing that you want. But once you understand the rules of the game, it's easier to play it. Then you have, like I said, commitment. Commitment is the second one. Once you have clarity, you can commit to something. And once you are committed, you can develop consistency over time. So that's the beautiful framework. The 6-step reverse engineer framework is the following. You pick a specific niche, you conduct niche research calls, you build a irresistible high ticket offer, you run structured sales calls and track the KPIs, you record and optimize, and you reverse engineer daily inputs. Of course, I'm going to explain this in more detail, don't worry about it. Step 1 is niche precision. If you target everyone, you convert absolutely fucking no one. This is my URL community here in Bali. It's called Let's Be Real. Never mind about that. So we narrow your niche. We identify a specific pain and we clarify the transformation. The specificity is equal to power. Step 2 is research calls. And this is where, it's incredible that most people are not doing this, because this is literally how you build a successful business. This is literally how you ensure product to market fit before you spend a lot of time either building a course that nobody wants to buy or having an offer that nobody wants to buy and nobody's interested. People will tell you that, yeah, that's pretty cool, but I don't need it. And that's the main problem. So we don't guess what they want. We ask, and you discover their biggest perceived pain, their dream outcome, and their language. The market tells you what to sell. Step 3 is offer engineering. So we build a clear desired outcome, a clear time frame, a strong conditional guarantee. I'll go in more detail about that part later, and high ticket prices. Why high ticket? Because high ticket prices actually increase commitment, results, and standards. This is where a lot of self-improvement coaches get stuck when they are running free case studies and all this kind of stuff. Because when you are running free case studies, you have a big problem. You have the problem that you don't know how committed people are, and then you don't know if people are doing the work or if your methodology is the thing that sucks, and that's the reason why you're not getting results for them. And that's a big problem, because that's going to keep you stuck in that phase for a really long time. And trust me, I went through that myself when I was doing my own self-improvement coaching business back in the day. This is why I have this knowledge about all this stuff, not just because I have gone through many other courses, like high ticket courses that I have bought to actually instruct myself on this and help me increase my income as a self-improvement coach, but because I actually went through the whole process, and that's the thing that took me to this point, which I'm living here in Bali, which is fucking beautiful. Anyways, step 4 is sales system. So you develop a structured script, conditional objection handling, KPIs tracking, and 30 cold testing minimum. Why 30 cold testing minimum? Simply because we apply the scientific method to business. 30 calls is the smallest data sample that you can have to actually derive from it a good metrics. Selling is a skill, and skills are trainable. Step 5 is call optimization. So you analyze tonality, certainty, objection moments, and close attempts. Professionals review tape. Amateurs rely only on memory. You iterate. Step 6, and this is one of the most fun parts, I know, I gotta admit, is revenue math. So let's say you have an offer of 2.5K. That means that you need 4 clients to actually be hitting 10K per month. If you have a close rate, and this is why it's important to track the KPIs, so that's how you can get these numbers. If you have a close rate of 20%, guess what? You need 20 qualified calls to actually be hitting 10K per month. If you have a show up rate of 70%, you need 28 book calls. If you have then all you have to do is actually reverse engineer that into daily outreach, daily messages, and daily conversations, and 10K per month becomes arithmetics. So the guarantee is super important. If they follow the framework, do the daily inputs, show up to the calls, execute properly, and they don't hit the results, you give them a full refund. No pressure, no drama, no excuses. Integrity is more important than ego, and in the long term, your brand is going to be always more important than just some cash from a specific client. It's very important to hold your frame and to remember this is a conditional guarantee. This is supposed to make the clients have the fear of losing the money and have the pleasure of hitting their goal, and both forces pulling them in the same direction. This is why this beats by far free case studies. On top of that, you're getting paid as you are practicing, and that's the beauty about it. You can validate your methodology without the risk or without the pressure of actually not delivering to people, because if you don't deliver, worst thing that they lose is they gain experience and they lose time working with you, but you give them the full refund. So that's the beauty about it. Later down the line, when you grow more and all that stuff, one thing that you can have, if you have been putting aside a fund for your business, is to actually have a risk reversal guarantee, which it is true that it sounds way too good to be true, but when you have been doing this for a while and you have less than 1% of refund rate, guess what? It's pretty easy to actually have that without any kind of risk of going into negative balance overall. So also you have to have refined your sales system, your client acquisition system, and all that stuff. So why this works in 42 days is because we remove confusion, we remove guessing, and we remove random effort. We create execution pressure. Who this is for? This is for self-improvement coaches at 0 to 3K per month who are serious about hitting 10K per month, willing to execute daily, coachable, competitive. This is not for dabbers, idea collectors, and especially not victims. If you don't take absolute personal responsibility for your life and for everything, if you're out there blaming your parents, the way they raised you, your government, that's the reason why, taxes is the reason why you're not making money, or whatever else is, like the girlfriend that left you 3 years ago, bro, like, you need to fix your mindset first before you can even come close to anything like this, or before you can even make money online or make money in any possible way that is not slave kind of job. So the real question is, if you believe you can change lives, are you serious about getting paid for it? I know I look like a drug dealer in that picture. I did it precisely because of that. I fucking love it. Anyways, the next picture is even better, because 10K per month is not a dream. It's execution, duty, honor, and pride. So you have two options. You can figure it out alone by yourself for the next 1 to 2 years, maybe even 3. And most people will give up before that, because if you have been 1 or 2 years doing this shit like I was, most people are going to just give up. And it is true, something that Alex Hormozi says. You have to either pay for your ignorance either with money or with time and effort. Most people value more money than their time and effort. And the funny thing is that one of those two things is limited and you can never get more of. And the other thing you can always make more of. I'll let you figure that one out. So, or we can reverse engineer it into 42 days with our program. But regardless, you can always join my free school community if you want to talk to me, if you want to ask me any questions, and if you want to be surrounded by a supportive community that is pushing for the same goal, full of self-improvement coaches. We are all pushing towards this kind of lifestyle, being able to travel around the world, live in Bali, and just having that financial location freedom. So let me ask you directly, are you ready to operate like a 10K per month consultant? that's pretty much the end.